In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do if you have received your Form I-20 or DS 2019 as a prospective exchange or international student. I'm going to explain 5 important steps to follow. Friends, my name is Fred and this is the Fred Effect. If you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Frederick. As at the time of recording this video, I am an international student pursuing a master's degree in public administration at the University of Kentucky. I had my first master's from Ohio University, and I also work with the Kentucky Transportation Center as a research assistant. If you want to know all about studying abroad and scholarship opportunities, visa interview tips, and generally life abroad, then start by clicking on the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. It is very important that you give this video a thumbs up. If you do so, YouTube recommends such content to other people so that they can also check it out. Before we begin, note that I'll be using 2 major terms referring to 2 different documents. The first one is the Form I-20. The Form I-20 is also known as the Certificate of Eligibility for Non-Immigrant F1 status for academic and language students. It is a United States Department of Homeland Security, specifically ICE, and the Student and Exchange Visitor Program document issued by SEVP certified schools, that is colleges, universities, and vocational institutions. This document provides supporting information on students' F and M status. The second document that I will be referring to in this video is the Form DS 2019. The Form DS 2019 identifies the exchange visitor and their designated sponsor and provides a brief description of the exchange visitors program, including the start and end date, category of exchange, and an estimate of the cost of the exchange program. So technically, if you are coming to study for a bachelor's, a master's, or PhD program, you need the Form I-20. However, if you are visiting for an exchange program, then you need the Form DS 2019. The Form I-20 and Form DS 2019 used to be delivered by mail, but after the COVID-19 pandemic, institutions, especially universities, could deliver to you an electronically signed document, which is acceptable. So if you received a soft copy of your document, all you need to do is to print it out. Technically, the Form I-20 is supposed to be a 3-page document. The Form DS 2019, however, is just a single document. The first thing to do after receiving your Form I-20 or DS 2019 is to review the document. As much as possible, I would entreat you to read every single information on the Form I-20 or DS 2019, paying attention to, most importantly, spelling mistakes. The inscriptions on the document must appear vivid to read. If it was poorly scanned or printed, please print it again or request your university or college to send you a properly scanned copy. Make sure the information on the first page of the Form I-20 matches exactly what is on your other documents, I mean passport and certificate. Note that if your name is hyphenated, most of the US system do not accept hyphen. So on the Form I-20 or DS 2019, the hyphen may not appear. This also applies to other documents like the Form DS 160 or even the appointment portal, which is explained in another video. To share a personal experience, I remember very well a couple of years ago when I was preparing to leave to the United States and my I-20 was shipped to me, a letter was missing from the spellings of the name of my sponsor. According to my DSO, which is the designated school official, this could have affected the approval of my F1 visa as at then. So please pay attention and make sure that every spelling appears as it's supposed to be. After making sure everything looks good on the document, you have to append your signature and date the document. This date could be any date before your F1 visa interview, but preferably the date that you received the document. By appending your signature on the document, you are certifying that everything looks good on the document. If you are below the age of 18 as at the time of receiving the document, then your guardian or parent would have to sign and date the document as well. There is a space provided on the Form I-20 for that. The next step is to complete the Form DS 160 application. This is also referred to as the visa application form. The DS 160 online non-immigrant visa application form is for temporary travel to the United States. DS 160 is submitted electronically to the Department of State website via the internet. Now, it is important to note that consular officers use the information entered in the Form DS-160 and combine with an in-person interview, and in recent times, an interview waiver application to determine if an applicant is eligible for a non-immigrant visa. It is important that you pay attention to every single information you put in this document, because it could determine whether you are going to be granted the non-immigrant visa or not. As a heads up, the DS-160 is a bulky document and will require a lot of information. But I highly suggest that before you begin to complete the DS-160 application, you should have all relevant documents such as your passport, your I-20, and other documents with you before you begin the application. Having gained an admission to pursue a program in the United States, I know you are competent enough to complete such an application. However, I will highly suggest that you get someone who has ever been through the process to review this document for you before you finally submit, especially if it is your first time doing this. Since it's a bulky document, remember you do not necessarily have to submit everything at a sitting. You can complete it up to a section, log out, log in later on to complete it. Remember to keep your login details safe. It is important, and you can keep a copy of the Form DS-160 before you finally submit it. This is to make sure that you have a copy to review as you prepare for the F1 visa interview, so that in case you are being asked similar questions you entered in the Form DS-160, you would provide same and not contradictory. I highly recommend this because most of the F1 visa interview questions come from the Form DS-160. So saving a copy to review as you prepare for the F1 visa interview would be very helpful. You only need the DS-160 confirmation page, which you will generate after completing the Form DS-160 as part of your document to submit when attending your F1 visa interview. Make sure that the code on the Form DS-160 confirmation page matches with the one on your appointment confirmation page, which we will get to in a little bit. If you make a mistake in the DS-160 and you recognize this after submitting it, no problem. You can start and complete a new one at any point in time to correct all the errors. US Embassy actually requires that you submit your DS-160 at least 48 hours to your interview. So there's no need to be in a rush to complete and submit it. It is important that you take your time and make sure that you are doing the right thing. Most visa refusals are as a result of incomplete and contradictory information applicants provide in the Form DS-160 and during their in-person interview. So the third step after you've done the above mentioned is to schedule a US visa interview appointment. To do this, you have to visit the US Department of State website, that is the US Travel Docs website. I will share the link in the YouTube video description, and find the nearest US embassy or consulate that is currently accepting visa interview appointment. If you are in countries such as Togo, Niger, Benin, or Chad, you would have to simply email or call the consulate or US embassy in your home country to schedule this appointment. But you do not necessarily have to attend this interview in your home country or your country of nationality. So for example, if you're a Ghanaian and for some reason you have traveled to Togo, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, or even Nigeria, you can easily schedule an appointment in the country in which you find yourself to attend your F1 visa interview. Also, if securing a favorable appointment date has been a challenge, you can schedule an appointment in the US embassy in the neighboring country. In some countries like Nigeria and Ghana, you would have to pay for the visa application fee in advance. You would need this receipt to schedule a visa interview appointment. However, in certain countries like Togo, Benin, and Chad, you would pay for this visa application fee on the day of your interview. Let me address a very confusing situation. If you happen to be admitted into multiple universities, and for example, you schedule an appointment with the service ID number of University A, and at any point in time, you would prefer to go to University B, remember, you can call the embassy and switch the service ID numbers, the name of the universities, and the zip code as you provided during the application to the new school. So the fourth step is to pay the service fee. So once you've been able to secure a US visa interview appointment, preferably on a date that works for you, you would want to go ahead and pay for the I-91 service fee. CVIS is an abbreviation for Student Exchange and Visitor. I have already made a video on the reason for the payment of this fee, how and when to make the payment. I'll share the link in the YouTube video description. Kindly check it out. Also, in the YouTube video description, I'll share the link to the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement website where you can pay for the I-91 service fee. Plan strategically to pay for the I-91 service fee and receive a confirmation page before you attend your F1 visa interview, as it is a required document. As at the time of recording this video, the service fee for prospective F1 students is set at $350. This price is set to change at any point in time in the future. As of 2019, the service fee was $200. It was increased to $300 from 2019. As at the time of recording this video, the I-91 service fee could be paid in 3 options. The first one is the most common way, that is making the I-91 service fee payment online with a debit or credit card. The second form of payment is to generate a service coupon and pay via Western Union Quick Pay. The third form of payment is payment in US dollars made using a personal check from a US bank or money order. That assuming you pay the service fee using an I-20 and, for that matter, a service ID number from University A, and at any point in time you change your mind to rather go to University B, you can do what we call a service fee transfer. Note that the service fee lasts for a year. So assuming you pay the service fee on March 28, 2022, it will expire on March 28, 2023. That is, if you are unable to acquire a visa within this 1-year period. So my suggestion would be to plan your payment strategically. Make sure you are able to secure a date, know exactly when you are attending the interview before you make an effort to pay this fee. The final step that I'm going to talk about in this video is to prepare for your F1 visa interview. Preparation is actually key to your success at this interview. Remember, you've gone through a lot of process, a lot of time, money, effort, and emotions has gone through the entire process. Now, this visa interview determines whether you would actually be able to relocate from your home country to the United States to pursue your dream program in whichever university you've been admitted into. If you can, I would highly suggest that you visit the location of the US Embassy where you schedule your US visa appointment before the day of your interview. Secondly, on this channel, we have a series running called the Experience Series. On the Experience Series, I interact with individuals from different parts of the world who have been through the F1 visa interview to share their experience with us. The motive is to let you know the line of questions to expect and the answers to provide to them. I would entreat you to watch all episodes of this series to be well prepared for the interview. In most countries, Education USA has offices. For example, in Ghana, there is an office in Accra as well as Kumasi. You can decide to visit any of their mock interview sessions. Make sure to gather all the necessary documents. On this channel, I've already made a video on the most important documents you require to be successful through this F1 visa interview. If you've not watched it yet, please check it out. I'll share the link in the YouTube video description as well. There is also an association of retired visa counselor officers. If you think you have peculiar issues, you can also consult them. However, their services will cost you. Lastly, if you are religious, make sure you do the needful. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you are yet to subscribe, please click on the subscribe button, hit on the notification bell, refer someone to this channel. I hope that this information will be very helpful as you prepare to relocate to the United States to further your education. My name is Fred, and this has been The Fred Effect.